what's the process of getting a client? Is it always them approaching you, or do you sometimes?
You gotta fish for them. You gotta is there like a database, or is it kind of like, oh, people post, hey, I need a photo. Like if there's like because I know for like government contracts, you know, they're like, oh, we need this amount of equipment, and so a company and there's bidding, right? And but there's just like specific websites just for that.
Right.
Is it like that for photography, or is it more like, no, I got to be on here looking everywhere, you know, and never taking a Craigslist one because those are always weird. But
we probably have similar and different experiences, I'm assuming.
I'm still fresh.
Okay.
I know. I heard it's bidding.
It's all over the map. It's all over the map.
Okay.
So, you know, I met somebody when I was on a hike with my girlfriend yesterday, and I liked their dog. I was like, I'm obsessed with dogs anyway. So I was like, blah, 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 dog. You know, we start talking. They do something in the creative field. I was like, hey, you know, she was like, what's your Instagram? Blah, blah, blah. You know, they may just hit me up for a job. I'm very social. I'm very talkative. That is one of my assets for business stuff. Mm-hmm. I'll mention that I'm a photographer, and I'll try not to do it obnoxiously. And then, you know, I'll do email blasts to people, or I'll occasionally post on my Instagram, like in the stories, that, hey, if you need this or if you need that or whatever, just to remind people, you know. So I do get a lot of word of mouth, but that's also because I put myself in positions where my word of mouth is effective. But those are the kind of jobs that could be random. Like they may just need a family portrait. And again, I'm a, you know, I position myself as a kind of like a high-end like fashion and celebrity photographer, but I am not above taking work, depending on if the work is good or if I'm slow and it's COVID and you got to be humble. So that's one thing. That's like one side. The other side, more to kind of what you guys were really asking about, is if I want to shoot for Vogue magazine, or if I want to shoot for the Couples or whatever, Givenchy or something, I'm going to first feel out if that's a brand for me. Like Ralph Lauren is not a brand for me. Like I don't want to shoot for that brand. I mean, if they came to me, I'd be like, all right, let's go. But you know what I mean? Like
listening?
Like Ralph.
Yo, Ralph, you heard that?
Yeah, Ralph.
Yo, it ain't Ralph though.
Yeah. It ain't Ralph. And we have mutual friends, you know. But you know, like they're not my vibe. Like I don't shoot like that, you know, and that's cool. Like I am not. And I'm not gonna get religious. I'm not religious, but I'm not gonna get all that. But I pray a lot about like bring, you know, I try to say to the universe, like, bring me clients where I can be of service. You know, how can I be best of service? If I'm not gonna serve that client, let me not be, you know, in the way of somebody that can serve that client. Instead, how can I clear out the BS and get to the clients that both I can serve and that I'll do a good job and therefore have fun. So in that sense, I'll say, okay, the Couples, I like their style, or like X, Y, and Z, whatever. And then I'll say, okay, do I know anybody at these companies? Okay, maybe I don't. Do I know anybody that knows people at these companies? Okay, so I'll start with the social connections. If there's nothing there, then I'll go into the next tier is like, okay, how do I contact them on email? Who are their creative directors? Have their creative directors or have anybody at that company worked with anybody else I've known? Maybe they've done a shoot with another photographer, but the same makeup artist that I know. And then I'll say, hey, Leah or so-and-so, how was that shoot? Did you know, or do they use the same photographer every time, or do they switch it up? And if they switch it up, you know, so there's a lot of finding out. Research. You know, so I do a few things. It's a research. It's social. It's targeted. But then there's also the casting the wide net and doing the email blasts and you know, whatever, and keeping your personal work up also, which means making pictures that aren't for money but that are for you, because that makes you desirable to clients. They want to see that you have a vision.